Welcome to 6 in 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in less than 6 minutes. All right, with that said, start your timer. Today, we turn to South America first. Brazil intends to invest billions into its own native AI companies, hoping to not get lost in the ever faster race towards artificial general intelligence. From Reuters, quote, Brazil, the largest economy in Latin America, wants to achieve technological autonomy and competitiveness in the AI sector, aiming for what it calls national sovereignty instead of reliance on imported AI tools from other countries, end quote. The total sum to be invested is just north of about $4 billion and has the support of many of the Brazilian government officials, including President Lula da Silva, who explains this is an opportunity to not be dependent on other nations for cutting-edge technologies. To the west, in Australia, the government is taking a wholly different approach to new technologies, deciding to ban ride-sharing scooters in the city of Melbourne. From BBC, quote, too many people are riding on footpaths. People don't park them properly. They're tripping. They're scattering around the city like confetti, like rubbish, and creating tripping hazards. Nicholas Rees told the local radio station 3AW. The scooter introduction was part of a 4-year plan in the city to test the service and its compatibility with the current infrastructure. Though because of various incidents, the program will be cut short, though not without protests from the scooter companies, who have invested many resources in trying to fix some of the issues that have arisen in the past 2 years. Now, let's return to the Americas, though a little bit further north this time. Canadian Scotiabank is expanding its portfolio by investing a large sum in KeyCorp. Their aim is to increase their presence in the United States among their other North American holdings. From Reuters, quote, KeyCorp CEO Chris Gorman noted that the bank would explore opportunities across investment banking, wealth, and payment, leveraging Scotia's presence across Canada, Mexico, and Central America, and now in the United States. The deal will take place in 2 stages, with the initial investment for a 4.9% stake, followed by an additional 10%, end quote. With this investment, Scotiabank will receive 2 spots on KeyCorp's board and will be the largest single investor. We go to some unfortunate news out of the country of Turkey next, where 5 individuals have been stabbed at an outdoor cafe. This quote comes from the BBC. Quote, a teenager has been detained after he videoed himself stabbing 5 people who were sitting in an open-air cafe in northwestern Turkish city of Eskişehir. The 18-year-old streamed the attack to social media via a camera mounted to his chest, end quote. All the victims were hospitalized, with 2 in critical condition. Upon being arrested, photos were taken of the attacker wearing a tactical vest with a black sun on it, an apparent neo-Nazi symbol. His motives are not known at this time. In Japanese news, the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is stepping down from office, saying his party needs a, quote, new start in the face of a record low 15.5% approval rating. From the BBC, quote, within the party, some have doubted whether Mr. Kishida can lead the LDP to win in the next general election due in 2025. The party has been in power almost continuously since 1955. Still, LDP leaders were shocked by Mr. Kishida's announcement, end quote. After last year's fundraising scandal, after which 4 ministers stepped down, and the uncertainty in Japan's market, there is no doubt that this is a politically chaotic time in the country, who, under Kishida, has been pivoting towards bolstering its military as China rises to its east. And finally, we look to Africa, where an outbreak of M-Pox has rallied the countries of the continent into a unified response. From Reuters, quote, the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, had warned last week of an alarming rate of spread of the viral infection, which is transmitted through close contact and causes flu-like symptoms and pus-filled lesions. Most cases are mild but can kill. We declare today, this is a quote by the way, Quote, "We declare today that this public health emergency of continental security to mobilize our institutions, our collective will, and our resources to act swiftly and decisively," end quote. The Africa CDC has already outlined a plan to get vaccines into the continent for the M-Pox virus, 3 million of its 10 million goal for the final part of 2024. So, with all that, thank you for joining me for this episode of 6 and 6. If you want to check out any of today's stories, they'll be linked in the description below, that like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find this show on Spotify, Pocket Cast, as well as Podvine, and also the Twitter handle down there, where I do the Twitter tirades every Tuesday and Thursday. They will also be in the description. With all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe, don't die.